You ever sit there staring at your phone, wondering how someone who once couldn't go a day without you can suddenly disappear like you meant nothing? Maybe you've replayed every moment, every conversation, trying to figure out where it went wrong. And now she's silent, cold, distant. And the worst part, you can't tell if she's done with you or if she's just trying to pretend she is if this is you. If you've been carrying that knot in your chest, trying to act strong while your mind keeps whispering, did she stop caring or is she waiting for something? Then you're not alone, because silence hurts in a way words never could. It makes you question your worth. It makes you question your identity. It makes you ask yourself why someone who once chose you now acts like you're invisible. Maybe this feels familiar. Those late night moments where you tell yourself you're over it, only for her name to hit your mind out of nowhere. Maybe you've wondered if she's thinking about you too. Maybe you've wondered if her silence is confidence or a cover. Because deep down, a part of you senses something isn't adding up. People don't just stop feeling overnight. Hearts don't just switch off, and when she suddenly pulls back, suddenly acts unfazed, suddenly becomes quiet, it usually means something much bigger is happening beneath the surface. So the real question is, what is she hiding behind that silence? Listen, most men panic when a woman goes silent. They start assuming the worst, chasing, overthinking, trying to fix something they don't even understand. And that's exactly where everything falls apart. Because when you react from fear, you hand over your power without even realizing it. The truth is, silence doesn't always mean she's done. It often means she's watching, observing, waiting to see who you become when she steps back. But here's where most men get it wrong. They try to fill the space instead of holding it. They rush toward her when the strongest thing they could do is stay grounded in themselves. A core masculine principle most guys never learn is this. Your response to distance defines your value far more than your response to closeness. Anyone can act confident when everything is going their way, but a man who stays calm when he's unsure, a man who doesn't fold when he's in the dark, that's a different level of strength. That's the version of you she wasn't expecting. So before you assume she's done with you, ask yourself, are you reacting to her silence or are you letting your presence speak louder than your fear? He sits in his car long after the engine stops, hands resting on the steering wheel, headlights fading into the night. The street outside is quiet, but his mind isn't. Her last message, or rather the lack of one, hangs in the air like unfinished dialogue. He scrolls up their chat anyway, hoping the words feel different tonight. They don't. Her silence isn't loud. It's suffocating. It's that kind of quiet where your chest tightens and you start hearing your own thoughts echo back at you. Was I too much? Not enough? Did she really move on that fast? He glances at the passenger seat, the place she used to sit, leaning against the window, laughing, touching his arm without thinking. And now, nothing. Just cold fabric and a memory that won't stop replaying. He steps out of the car, the night air sharp against his skin. Every sound feels amplified. His footsteps on the pavement, the distant hum of a streetlight, the emptiness of not knowing what she's thinking. It's strange how someone's silence can weigh more than their words ever did. As he walks toward his apartment, he remembers the way she used to say his name, soft, certain, like she knew him better than he knew himself. Now he can't even tell if she still thinks about him at all. But deep underneath the hurt, something else stirs. A faint, unsettling instinct. She didn't leave with anger. She didn't leave with closure. She just disappeared, like someone hiding a truth she wasn't ready to speak. He pauses at his door, staring at the empty lock screen of his phone, feeling that familiar ache in his chest. If she's really done, why does it feel like she's still there, just behind the silence? He doesn't know the answer, not yet, but something tells him her silence isn't the ending. It's the beginning of something he hasn't uncovered, and that's what keeps him awake long after the world falls asleep. A lot of men carry silent beliefs that quietly destroy them in moments like this. One of the biggest? The idea that her silence automatically means she's done with you. It feels true when you're hurting, but most of the time it's not the end. It's a test of who you become when she's not validating you. Women pull back to see your stability, not your desperation. Another belief that blinds you is thinking her distance is about your worth. It's not. Her silence often reflects her confusion, her fear, her mixed emotions, not your value as a man. But when you assume it's all about you, you crumble, and that's when you lose yourself. I want you to hear this clearly. She didn't ghost you. You disappeared from yourself. And another truth most men need to remember, her silence isn't rejection. It's a mirror. You're not being punished. You're being shown the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. And once you see that, once you wake up to it, everything about this situation starts to shift. The man who stands out, the 3% man, doesn't respond to silence the way most guys do. He doesn't panic. He doesn't chase the moment he feels distance. And he definitely doesn't build stories in his head that make him smaller. His strength comes from a mindset that most men never learn. This is what he understands. A woman's silence is not a command for him to collapse. It's an invitation for him to return to himself. He knows that when she steps back, the real question isn't, what is she thinking? But who am I being right now? He doesn't let uncertainty shake his identity because his sense of worth isn't tied to her response. It's anchored in who he is. This is how he leads with presence, not pressure. He gives the situation room to breathe instead of crowding it with fear. He remains steady, grounded, emotionally composed. Not because he's trying to impress her, but because that's who he's committed to being, with or without her attention. Where most men slip into doubt, the 3% man rises into clarity. Where most men try to control the outcome, he controls his inner state, and that quiet confidence changes everything. It's why her silence doesn't break him. It reveals him. It happens in a moment so ordinary you almost miss it. You're sitting alone, maybe on the edge of your bed, maybe in the quiet of your room, where the only sound is your own breathing. Her silence is still there, heavy, familiar, lingering like a shadow you've been walking with for days. You check your phone again out of habit more than hope, and for the first time, you feel tired, not of her, but of the way you've been treating yourself. That's when something inside you shifts. It's small at first, like a single thought whispering through the noise. Why am I waiting for someone who isn't even here to tell me I matter? You sit with that question, really sit with it. And suddenly the story in your mind starts to crack open. You realize the pain wasn't just about losing her. It was about losing yourself in the space she left behind. You had been holding your breath for someone who wasn't holding you at all. And in that breath, you finally release. Something honest rises to the surface. You remember the version of you who lived before the noise, the strength you had, the passions that lit you up. The man you were long before her silence became the loudest thing in your life, and it hits you. Not like a scream, but like a quiet truth settling into your bones. You were never waiting for her. You were waiting for yourself to come back. You straighten your posture without thinking. Your chest feels lighter. Not because she returned, but because you finally did. Her silence stops feeling like a verdict and starts feeling like a mirror. One that shows you a man who still deserves connection, respect, effort without needing to chase it. It's the moment you stop hoping for a message and start remembering your worth. Her silence isn't your ending. It's the quiet moment where you finally rise back into the man you were always meant to be.